Hi everyone, I'm Miss Tess from the Half Hollow Hills Community Library. Welcome to Tell a Tale Tuesday. Today's story is Amelia Earhart, Aviation Pioneer. And before we get started, I would just like to say that I hope you enjoyed what we read last month for Black History Month, The Girl with a Mind for Math. And if you'd like to view it again, you can see it on our YouTube page. So like I said, today I have another great book for Women's History Month. And I hope you enjoy it. So before I get started, this is Amelia Earhart, Aviation Pioneer by Grace Hanson. This is a great early reader nonfiction. I just wanted to point out some of its great features. It's got a nice table of contents, which is an introduction to what the book will contain, the factual information about Amelia Earhart, who she was, when she was born, what happened in her lifetime. It's got a glossary, which is sort of like a mini dictionary where you can look up words that were perhaps bolded in the text, or maybe you just didn't get. The index to also look up specific facts will give you the page numbers they're at. So, and great photos, definitely great photos. Okay, Amelia Earhart, Aviation Pioneer. So, early life. Amelia Mary Earhart was born on July 24th, 1897. She was born in Atchison, Kansas. So we can see on the map where she was born, and here she is as a child and when she graduated, probably high school or college. Frank Hawks was a famous aviator. In 1920, he took Amelia on her first plane ride. She loved it. Up and away. Amelia's interest in flying grew. She took flying lessons. She even bought a plane. She named it the Canary. It was bright yellow. And here she is with her plane. In 1928, Amelia was invited on a flight. The flight crossed the Atlantic Ocean. She was the first woman to do this. This is why she's extremely notable. The flight made Amelia famous, but she was only a passenger. So here's a word you can look up in the glossary. It's gray, and that's a reason to use the glossary. That's why this is a good book. She wanted to make the trip on her own. So on May 20th, 1932, she did. Next, Amelia flew across the Pacific Ocean. Now she was ready for a greater challenge, another word to look up. She wanted to fly around the world. The flight would start in California. Amelia and navigator Fred Noonan took off from Miami, Florida on June 1st, 1937. Amelia completed about 22,000 miles, which is 35,400 kilometers of her trip. She had about 7,000 miles or 11,300 kilometers to go. And you see her plane. They're getting into the plane. Missing. On July 2nd, the U.S. Coast Guard waited near a small island in the Pacific. Amelia was supposed to refuel there. She never made it. Amelia and her plane have never been found. So this is the route that she traveled. She started here in California. She disappeared somewhere over the Pacific, and she was last seen near Australia. Legacy. Amelia Earhart was a great aviator. She was one of the first women to fly. She dared to do what no one had done before. Here she is, being greeted by a crowd upon one of her successful flights. And here's a timeline of her accomplishments. Let's see what it says on here. We've got her first flight, in 1920. And this is, oh, so we've got here where she was born. This is how you read a timeline. You go over, you come up, come down, go over and come down. And this is important for putting in order the sequence of the events of her life. Okay, and here's the glossary I spoke about. A couple of words with definitions: challenge, navigator, and passenger, that you might not be familiar with. And the index. So if you want specific information about something like the Canary, the plane, where was that mentioned in this book? I can look here, it's on page 8. Birth, when was she born? On page 4.